Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to my thesis presentation on large language models in mental health support. And this thesis is done as a literature review. My name is Joona Rantanen, and my supervisor is Jung. So the agenda for today is first we will have an introduction to the topic, then we will go over to the research question. After that, we will have a background section about transformers and mental health. Then we will dive into the key papers and approaches used in this thesis. And then we have a section for personal experiences people have found online. Then we will go over the challenges and future directions. And then we will have ethical, privacy, and security considerations. And after that, we will have a key findings section and also a summary section. So, introduction to this mental health topic. So, at the moment, we are facing this mental health crisis, and it has led to this rise of therapy chatbots. And why is it so? It's because increasing mental health issues globally, and also there is a huge shortage of mental health professionals. And the role of technology is that there has been an emergence of mental health chatbots, and is it because the potential for AI to address these gaps in the current mental health care? And my research questions for this thesis was that how large language models can be utilized in mental health support. So a quick background on the transformer architecture, which is powering these current large language models. It was first introduced by Vaswani et al. In 2017 at Google, and it consists of several components, and those components are input embedding, positional embedding, scaled dot product attention. Then we have this multi-head attention and encoder and decoder block. And as you can see in the picture, on the right, there's this transformer architecture, and basically in the left there's this encoder block, and in the right there's this decoder block. So the first paper we'll go over in this presentation is this Psi LLM, and this was introduced by Lai et al. In 2023. So Psi LLM is a framework, and it's an AI-based tool for online psychological counseling. And it combines pre-trained large language models with professional Q&A and crowd psychological articles. And it is a front-end tool for healthcare professionals and screening tool for urgent cases. And the effectiveness of this framework is that the authors found out that it generates coherent and relevant answers for psychological questions. And this was evaluated using intrinsic metrics, perplexity, and human participant assessment. But it still falls short on human level performance. And the next paper is this chat console, which was introduced by Liu et al. In 2023. And it is based on real conversation between clients and professional psychologists. And it was constructed from 260 in-depth interviews, each spanning about an hour. And it involves instructional fine-tuning and generating instruction data for instruction tuning. And it utilizes this GPT-4 model to distill query-answer pairs from conversation, and they created this Psych 8K dataset, and it was created by licensed psychological counselors. And in the right, in the picture, you can see the flow of the model. So first there's this, as I said, these real counseling conversations, and they are turned into text. And then text is processed by GPT-4, and it is made into conversations, and this query answer data. And then there's this fine-tuned model, and they use this Vicuna 7B. And the evaluation of Chat Controller, they use this automation evaluation conducted to compare Chat Controller's performance with other LLMs. And this counseling bench was introduced for assessing counseling effectiveness from different perspectives. And a set of 2029 questions designed to evaluate chatbots across various counseling scenarios. And the authors found out that this chat controller surpassed existing open source models and approaches the performance level of ChatGPT. And it highlights the importance of fine-tuning with domain-specific data. Fine-tuning a robust pre-trained language model with domain-specific data yields competitive results. And next, we have this diagnosis of thought prompting, which was introduced by Chen et al. In 2023. The overview of this paper is that it is focused on developing AI assistance for computational psychotherapy. And it is based on these three stages, which are subjective assessment, which evaluates subjective elements in patient speech. Then the next one is contrastive reasoning, which identifies cognitive distortions through logical contrast. And then lastly, this schema analysis, which analyzes underlying schemas influencing thoughts. So in the right, you can see this picture. So first we have this patient speech, and you can read this text from the picture. But first, the model goes through this subjective assessment, and after that it goes to this contrastive reasoning, and lastly this schema analysis, and it yields these results. As in this case, is there a distortion assessment? Yes, and the distortion type is personalization. So the diagnosis of thought prompting results is that it demonstrates significant improvements in cognitive distortion detection. The dot prompting outperformed existing models like ChatGPT and showed promising results with GPT-4. And the human evaluation confirmed the interpretability and usefulness of dot-generated rationales. And dot prompting harnesses LLM's capabilities to augment therapy skills. And it aims to aid in precise diagnosis and tailored therapeutic interventions. So next we'll have this mindful diary paper, which was introduced by Kim et al. In 2024. And Mindful Diary is an app designed to help psychiatric patients document daily experiences via this AI-driven conversation. And it includes a clinician dashboard for visualizing patient data during consultations. And the authors tested this 4-week field study, which involved 28 patients who had major depressive disorder, and they used 5 psychiatrists. And they evaluated feasibility and integration of LLMs in clinical settings. And they use these AI-driven prompts for reflecting on emotions, activities, thoughts, beliefs, and personal health. And next paper is Mindshift, which was written by Wu et al. In 2024. And it is an intervention technique to address problematic smartphone use. And it identifies boredom, stress, and inertia as mental states behind problematic use. And it utilizes LLMs to generate personalized, dynamic, persuasive content. And there's 4 persuasion strategies, which are understanding, acknowledging users' feeling and context, comforting, provides emotional support and reassurance, evoking, encourages reflection and awareness of usage habits, scaffold habits, helps users build healthier habits gradually. And the conclusions of this paper are that Mindshift effectively mitigates problematic smartphone use, and it provides valuable insights into LLM-powered persuasion for behavior change, and it addresses the mental state behind problematic smartphone use. And next, we have this dynamic strategy chain, which was introduced by Chen et al. In 2023, and it is a long counseling text generation for mental health supports task, and it aims to provide comprehensive mental health support responses. And it utilizes this chain of thought (COT) prompting combined with LLMs. And in the right, you can see the flow of the model. So first, this red box, which is the question the user has, and then there's this different strategy chains, and the model chooses the best strategy for the current situation, and then it replies using that specific strategy, as you can see in the right. And the result of this paper is that zero-shot DSC prompting offers a novel method for human-like response generations, and it has a potential to significantly enhance AI-driven mental health support systems. And next, we have chain of empathy, which was introduced by Lee et al. In 2024. And a chain of empathy aims to induce LLMs to reason about human emotional states. It enhanced empathetic responses in AI communications. And the reason why we needed this paper is that because LLMs usually produce exploratory responses without the empathy. And COE reasoning resulted in a comprehensive range of empathic responses, as the authors found. And they tested on predicting suitable empathic strategies for mental health posts on Reddit. And to the right in the picture, you can see this standard prompting, where the user inputs text, "I just broke up, my life is over," and the output is just, "I'm sorry to hear that you are sad." But in the chain of empathy prompting, the input is the same, but the model first reasons in the first step, which is the emotion, that the client is feeling sad, and in the second step, the cognitive error, which is the client shows catastrophic cognitive error. And then it outputs a quite good text that can potentially help the user. And of course, this is based on psychotherapy-based COEs. And the last paper we'll look at this presentation is PsyEval, which was introduced by Jung et al. In 2023. And it is a comprehensive benchmark for evaluating LLMs in mental health. And it consists of six subtasks covering 3 dimensions. And those dimensions are knowledge, diagnosis, and therapy. And the subtasks are mental health question answering, diagnosis prediction via online text data, diagnosis prediction via dialogue, therapeutic conversations, and empathy understanding in therapeutic conversations, and also safety understanding in therapeutic conversations. And conclusions of this paper was that PsyEval benchmark as a valuable tool for assessing LLM performance, and it emphasizes the importance of specialized benchmark in mental health. And it calls for further research to improve model efficacy in this domain. And one interesting thing about this topic of LLMs in mental health is people's personal experiences. And so the platforms like Reddit and TikTok are filled with personal accounts of individuals using LLMs for mental health support. And these platforms reveal a societal shift towards digital solutions for emotional and mental health needs. And there are a lot of motivations for people using LLMs. on their own, and those are mainly anonymity and safety, because these digital platforms offer a safe space for expression without the fear of judgments or stigma. And the accessibility, LLMs provide immediate support for their users. And the perceived benefits of using LLMs on your personal mental health is reflective and non-judgmental responses, preliminary step to professional help, and the models also offer empathy and companionship. But there's also ethical and practical concerns, and few of those are lack of professional oversight and also data privacy risks. So the challenges of these LLMs in mental health is there are a lot of other, but maybe the most important ones are model hallucinations and factual inaccuracies, interpretability, and black box nature. And there's also huge biases in the training data used to train these models, and also in the mental health setting the lack of understanding of nonverbal cues. And there are some recommendations that the research scientists have suggested are diverse datasets and transparent development, and the use of explainable AI methods, and also this human in the loop deployment. So the future directions for this topic is that we need enhancing data quality and model accuracy. We need to develop advanced generation strategies and ensure transparency and accountability. And we also have improve empathy and the emotional understanding. We have to secure the patient data and develop ethical guidelines. And also we need these long-term effective studies. And lastly, the ethical privacy and security considerations. So the ethical implications is that we need to ensure the fairness and inclusivity and address the biases and cultural competence. And privacy and security, we need to take care of the data security and patient consent, and also the legal and regulatory challenges. So the conclusion of this thesis and the key findings is that there's a significant potential of LLMs in mental health support, but there's also critical challenges that need addressing. And the future outlook is that we need empirical research on long-term impacts. And we also have to develop robust ethical and regulatory frameworks. And thank you for listening my presentation. And if you have any questions, you can email me at joona.rantanen@aalto.fi.